Hello and welcome to my channel Champagne and Stitches. My name is Sarah and this is Flosstube number 4. Hi, welcome. Like I said, it's Flosstube number 4. Today I am just doing a catch up on what I've been stitching on since the last time you saw me. Find out if I've actually started anything, finished anything, let you into a secret. The answer is no. What I have actually been stitching on, and I've got a little bit of haul at the end. But firstly, I'd like to say a few shout outs. The first shout out, I'd like to say hello to 3 little girls, Isla, Evie and Heidi, who are hopefully watching me at home on their sofa with their mum Edwina, and maybe even Dan, their dad. Who knows, he might even be watching me too. But I just wanted to say hi girls, and I'll see you soon hopefully. It was lovely because Edwina sent me a photograph of Isla, the eldest, who is still at primary school, stitching on her own cross stitch after watching me. So it's great to be inspiring the next generation of cross stitchers. The other shout out I'd like to do is a big thank you to Lindsay at Stitching Magic 111, who gave me a shout out on her Flosstube the other day. Lindsay's just started Flosstube as well. So it's really nice to sort of feel that there's someone who understands what it's like, where I'm coming from, and who is watching my videos. So do check her out. She's got some really beautiful projects that she's stitching on. So thank you, Lindsay, and I look forward to your next video. So, as I said, I don't have any finishes to show you today. I don't have any new starts to show you today, but I do have some works in progress. I have 6 whips that I've worked on since I last spoke to you. So we will start with the first one of those. So this is the Peacock Pincushion by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is, as I've said before, the whip that I work on in my car before I go into work. And it's a really easy one. I can actually see the holes for a start without having a very bright light shining on the fabric. So I've made good progress on this one in the last few weeks. Here is where I am now with it. This is being stitched on a Coffee Craft fabric. I bought this as a kit from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics. So this is one of her hand-dyed linens. I'm not sure if I said 28 count even weave, using all the called for DMCs and 1 week's dye works, which is deep sea. So the last time you saw this, I had worked on the head around to here, and I just started on, I think, just this little bit of green at the bottom here. So I've since done those 2 feathers, started putting in more of the body. And as I said last time, this is a really good stitch for the card because the patterns are quite repetitive. So actually you do get to remember what it is that you're stitching and where things are going. And there's some quite good blocks of colour in. So I think now I just need to do some more of the deep sea down to here. And then this is all fill-in, which is really easy when you're in the car. So that is my first whip. Peacock Pincushion by Cottage Garden Samplings. My next whip is another Cottage Garden Samplings pattern. This is from their Fabulous House series. So this is the first one, Santa's House. And again, I'm stitching it on a 28 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics. And this is where I've got to. So this one has actually come up as my whip go call in March. It came up as, I think, for number 24, I think it was, for my newest start. So I've set myself the goal of finishing the house. And this one at the moment, I'm also stitching as my 30-minute stitch before I stitch on anything else. So it's the first thing I pick up, and I put at least 30 minutes into it before I stitch on any other projects. And what I'm finding is I'm enjoying it so much that actually I usually do more than 30 minutes of it. So I had run out of the, I think it's Ladybug. So I just pulled out my flosses. So as you can see, this is all I had left of Ladybug, and I have luckily received a new one this morning in the post, so I can carry on with this. So just need to fill in that part and do the roof, which will be my whip go call completed, and then I can carry on with the rest of it. So that is Santa's house from Cottage Garden Samplings. My third whip is A Year at Hawk Run Hollow. So obviously the March block, and I did finish, as you'll see, I did finish the February block. So you can see a bit better on that side. So this is where I am. I was working in the February block the last time I showed this to you. What can I say about this February block? Everything that could go wrong went wrong. This tree is not correct. It does look like this tree, but in the chart they're actually different. I used the wrong blue in her skirt. Consequently, that meant I used the wrong blue. I think these three letters are the blues are the wrong way round. I think these ones are okay. I didn't realise that there was white stitching in this purple stitching. So I'm afraid I did fudge that, and I stitched the white crosses over the top of the purple ones. I couldn't be bothered to unpick, so I just stitched over the top. I decided no one's going to come at me because of it, and I mean, I doubt people will even know. And then perhaps the biggest problem was that actually I had somewhere in here, I had a broken thread in my fabric. So this is a 32 count linen from Cedar River Linens in Spindrift, and where you have like the teeny tiny little thin strands of weave, one of them had snapped. So actually it was a bit tricky here because I wasn't going over two, because I only had one thread there to go over. So I don't think you can notice. So I finished the February block just before the end of February. I think I finished it on about the 27th. And then I learnt my lesson because I didn't start that one very early on in February. So I started the March block on March the 1st, made sure I got in the border, which meant now I know how wide it is. I was able to cut my fabric down so that I'm now going to put this onto a scroll frame, which I hope will help with not damaging the fabric at all. And I've just started at the bottom here in the March block. So I shall pop this onto my scroll frame, and then I shall get cracking with it, and hopefully it won't be quite such a rush at the end of the month. So that is my Year at Hawk Run Hollow. And my needle minder is from Kate Blandford on Etsy, as is the needle minder that's on my, not my Santa's house. Actually, not on either of those. We'll come to it. Ignore me. So my next whip is this one, on an adventure. I quite often call this an unexpected adventure because the mystery Sal was named a 12-day unexpected journey. So actually I call it an unexpected journey, I think. But the pattern's actually on an adventure, and it's from Forbidden Fibre Co, and it was a mystery 12-day box to open between Christmas and New Year, and it's based on The Hobbit. So this is where I have got to on it. This was a whip go call for February to stitch on a stitch along, so I chose this one. And I completed my goal, which was to complete the border. So when I had started, and I'll be popping in photos of where my whips were the last time you saw them, I had stitched up here and across into this bit somewhere. So I've added this, I've done all these fabulous little characters at the bottom, and now all I have to do is put the words in, which are going to be, I think they're in this sort of darker red colour, which should be quite quick to do because it's going to be one colour, so I won't be having to change floss all the time, and then just finish this little bit off because I didn't want to count where to stop and start. So once I've put in the N here, I can just go back in and finish that. Hopefully that will be a finish quite soon. So this is on 28 count Lugana from Forbidden Fibre Co. in Burglar, using their hand dyed flosses as well, which all had names to do with The Hobbit. So I enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed this stitch actually. So that is that one, and the needle minder also came with the kit and with a nice project bag as well, but it's on the floor, so I've shown it to you before. So my next one, this was another Whip Go call for February, was my Big Hearted Tiny Town, this one, by Heart in Hand. So I had got quite a long way on this one, but I didn't have any cherry tomato floss, so I'd had to leave gaps in it. So I've since got the cherry tomato and I've gone back and filled those in. There's no reason why this isn't finished. I literally have to do another tree here like this one. I have to finish the roof off and I have to do the back stitch. So barely anything left to do. So hopefully this one just take me a tiny bit of time to finish, and I'll be able to show you that next time. This needle minder is from Kate Blanford on Etsy, and I am stitching this on a 32 count Zweigart Belfast linen using the called for Classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works. So that is Big Hearted Tiny Town. And my last whip that I've been working on is this one from Lola Crow, Greenhouse of Oddities. So this was her stitch along in 2023. As I've said, I didn't know about Lola Crow in 2023. I found her last year. So having done the Deadly Aquarium, Sal, I started to stitch this one. So I am here, I think we are on 37%. This one is in, well, what's it called? Markup RXP, which is why I know percentage of on it. I don't have all my patterns in there, so lots I stitch from the paper pattern, and life is too short to work out how much I've stitched of them. But this one I know is just over 37%. I'm hoping to get it to 40% by the end of the month, which I'll do easily. So I might actually aim to get 50% of this done before it goes away, because Lola Crow's new Sal is coming out. So the last time I showed you this, I think I had done the top of the dome, so I know that this is new and working here. And last night I was just popping in my skeleton, and I'm using the glow-in-the-dark light effects, I think it is, from DMC to stitch him. So after I'd finished stitching and turned the light out, I was very pleased to see, I showed everybody that he does actually glow in the dark. So looking forward to seeing him finished. So this one, as I've said, will go away at the end of the month when Lola Crow's new Sal comes out, because I shall be stitching that one, but more of that in my plans coming up. So that is Lola Crow's Greenhouse of Oddities, currently at 37%. So that was my last whip since I last filmed. So let's pop those on the floor. I've got a little bit of haul to show you. Firstly, I am part of Lakeside Needlecraft in the UK, part of their Classic Colourworks thread club. So I get 10 Classic Colourwork threads every month. So this was my 10 for last month. So hopefully I'll get some more soon. So I just found that I was using Classic Colourworks in lots of things I was stitching, so constantly needing to order individual ones. So I decided, why not sign up to the club, get myself a set of them, and then hopefully as they crop up in patterns, I will already have them. So they are my February Thread Club threads. And then the other order I got through was from Evertote Roxy Floss Co. So I've got some flosses and I got a project bag. So with my whip go, I decided to set myself some rewards, and I decided that I would have one reward for completing a line, be that horizontal, vertical or diagonal, and also I would give myself £10 for every call that I completed, so that at some point in the future I'd have quite a nice amount of money to treat myself to something. For my bingo call, my horizontal, vertical, diagonal line, I decided that I would treat myself to the Floss pack for A Study in Nature by the Artsy Housewife, which I absolutely adore. And every time I watch sort of the Evertote Roxy Floss Co. YouTube, Flosstube, Between Two Whips, it's slap bang on the wall in the middle. And I look at it and I desperately want to stitch that. So I saw that they did a conversion, a thread pack conversion, and I thought, well, that's a really good reward. And they had it with the pattern as well. And then I saw that it had sold out with the pattern. So I immediately bought the floss pack so that doesn't also disappear. So I know I haven't achieved my reward on Whip Go, but I do have the floss pack for that. So that's how come I've got this when I shouldn't have, but the FOMO is real, and I'm really pleased I've got this. I've got some fabric, some red fabric, which I'm going to use as well. So now all I need is the pattern, and then I can get started on that. And so those threads didn't travel on their own. Because I couldn't get the pattern with them, I decided to treat myself to a project bag. And this one in particular, because it has peacocks on, I thought would be perfect for the new Lola Crow sal, which is, so I've got a hair in my mouth, which is it, I think she's calling it Extraordinary Birds. So I thought this was very apt. So I bought this one to go with it. And the Evertote project bags come with a small notions pack as well. So that is there. And then also in here, because I'm starting to collect things for that stitch along, I have a couple of fabrics from Coffee Craft Fabrics, which were in their latest Super Sunday fabric. What does she call it? Fabric Super Sunday? Something like that. Anyway, on her Facebook page. So I picked up these two fabrics, which I thought might work. So we've got this one, which is yellows with a little bit of blue. Sort of wish this one had more blue mottling on it, but I like it as it is. And then this one, which is sort of all blue. I'm sure one of those will work for that stitch along. So I'm slowly getting, I have obviously bought the stitch along. That was released on the 1st of March, and then stitching on that will start. The frame starts on the 4th of April, and then the different, I can't remember what she's calling them, they were exhibits last time around, but the different weekly drops, fortnightly drops will be between May and August. So I'm slowly getting all my bits and bobs ready to be able to stitch that one. And that leads me on to plans, because like I said, I want to get the Greenhouse of Oddities up to 40% by the end of the month, and I'm very close to that already, so I'm going to try and push myself to get that to 50%, because it will go away at the beginning of April so that I can concentrate on the new stitch along. And they are quite chunky drops, so I know once they're released I won't have quite so much time in between to stitch on all the other things. So I'm going to try and get Greenhouse of Oddities to 50% if I can, 40% definitely, 50% if I can. My 2 whip go calls, so I've still got Santa's house to finish, where I just want to get the house complete for that, and the other call for, I think it was number 9, was my pot sampler from Historical Sampler Company, and to put 1,000 stitches into that, which is, I'm really pleased that's been called, because I haven't touched that for a year. I think the last time I stitched on it was back in March last year, and I've plotted out the bits that I'm going to do that will work out to be around about 1,000 stitches. It's over 1,000 stitches, but I don't know exactly what it is. So hopefully that will get me back into stitching that one, because every time I look at it I think I really want to stitch it, but I never pick it up. So that one will get some work this month. Obviously I want to finish Big Hearted Tiny Town, because I've got so little to do on that one, and maybe put the words into An Unexpected Journey, get that one finished as well. Carry on with Peacock Pincushion, because that one I will just be stitching until I finish it. And then maybe if I get some finishes, I might get myself the pattern for A Study in Nature and start that one, as I have all the bits and bobs for that. I do have something in mind for the other reward on the Whip Go board, the one where I'm giving myself £10 a completed square. But again, that one is, I'm not going to say what it is because it's low in stock and I'm having a panic about it. So who knows whether I manage to last out and actually get the reward in place. How do I explain it? Get the £10 together in order to buy it, or whether I will just panic and buy it anyway, in which case I'll have to give it to myself at the end of the year when I've earned it, not before. So they are my plans. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who has watched my videos, who has liked, commented and subscribed. If you aren't subscribed and you've enjoyed what you've seen, please think about subscribing, and I will see you in a couple of weeks with my next floss tube. Thank you. Bye.